Welcome to the silo. 10,000 people living inside a massive underground bunker that stretches 144 levels deep into the earth. No one knows who built it. No one knows exactly what happened outside. The official story is that a rebellion 140 years ago destroyed almost every record of the past. Books burned, servers wiped. Every year they celebrate Freedom Day, marking the day the founders crushed that rebellion and took control. The cardinal rule of the silo, written into the pact that governs every life, is simple and absolute. Never ask to go outside. Anyone who says those words is granted their wish and never comes back. Our story opens in the present with Sheriff Holston Becker. He moves through his morning routine with quiet purpose, pinning on his badge, placing flowers in front of a mirror, fiddling with a loose vent. He walks to the sheriff's department, writes a note, removes his badge, and locks himself inside holding cell 3. When Deputy Sam Marnes arrives, Holston has already thrown the key into the corridor. Marnes begs him not to say it. Holston looks at his old friend and says the forbidden words, "I want to go out." We jump back 2 years. Holston and his wife Allison have just received rare permission to try for a child. Population is strictly controlled. Every woman has a birth control implant. Allison's has been surgically removed for 1 year, their third and final chance. Dr. Leonard performs the procedure. The couple is hopeful, even joyful. They start trying immediately, and the whole department knows it. There's a wry, human moment when Holston's colleagues overhear them in his office and try not to laugh. Allison works in IT. She's curious by nature, the kind of person who asks questions other people have learned not to ask. She posts on the internal bulletin board about recovering deleted files and is gently but firmly shut down by Bernard Holland, the head of IT. "There are processes for a reason," he tells her. Allison confides in Holston that there are too many rules, and that even asking about the time before the rebellion feels forbidden. Days tick by. Allison is not pregnant. A fertility counselor named Gloria Hildebrandt keeps approaching her. Gloria is intense, a little unstable in the eyes of most people. She asks Allison privately if she has an open mind. Later, with the water running to mask their conversation, Gloria plants the seed of conspiracy. Maybe they don't want people like Allison, people who ask questions, to have children. Maybe the rebellion story is a lie. Maybe the destroyed records weren't the rebels doing it all. Meanwhile, Freedom Day approaches. Mayor Ruth Johns is anxious about possible unrest. Holston and Marnes reassure her. The external sensor that shows the barren outside world has grown filthy. It has been a long time since the last cleaning. Johns remarks that people need to see the dead world to remember why they stay inside. Allison receives a work request from a programmer in the mids named George Wilkins. He wants her specifically, early in the morning, so she travels down the long spiral staircase and stays overnight in a hostel. George has found an old hard drive, a relic from before the rebellion. Its serial number doesn't appear in any IT records. It could be more than 140 years old. Possessing it is dangerous. Allison helps him access the files. Inside are blueprints of the silo itself, including what looks like a tunnel leading outward. She panics, tells him to bury it, and leaves. But the discovery sticks with her. She returns to Gloria, pressing harder on the question of why certain people are denied children. She goes back to George. Together they dig deeper into the drive and find a file labeled something like Jane Carmody cleaning. The footage shows a person in a protective suit outside, and the world beyond the silo is green, lush, alive. Birds, or things flying in the air, as Allison can only describe them, move across a blue sky. The official view of a toxic wasteland appears to be a lie. Allison's year is almost up. The appointment to reinstall her birth control implant arrives. She doesn't show. Holston finds her at home, bleeding. She has cut the real implant out of her own abdomen with a knife. The doctor's earlier procedure was a sham. She was never going to conceive. She shows Holston the device as proof that they are being controlled and lied to. Holston races for medical help. When he returns, Deputy Marnes tells him Allison is in the Level 1 cafeteria. There, bleeding and wild-eyed, Allison shouts to the gathered residents that everything is a lie. The outside is green and safe. The screens are fake. Then she says the words that cannot be taken back. I want to go out. The law is absolute. Mayor Johns looks for any way around it and finds none. Gloria and George are questioned. George claims Allison never returned to him a second time, and Judicial never finds the hard drive. Preparations begin for the cleaning. In their final private moments, Allison tells Holston she loves him, but she cannot unsee what she has seen. She makes a promise. If the outside is the toxic wasteland they've always been shown, she will not clean the external sensor. If it is green and beautiful, she will clean it as a signal to him that the truth is out there. Allison is suited up in the protective gear reserved for those who go outside. Crowds gather at the viewing screens. The airlock opens. She steps into the unknown. Holston and the entire silo watch as she walks to the sensor, methodically cleans the lens, then turns and walks toward the hill. She collapses before she reaches the top and does not move again. The cleaning is complete. The official view of the dead world remains. 2 years later, George Wilkins is dead. He went over a rail on level 120. Holston investigates. Official word is suicide or accident. An engineer in the down deep insists it was murder. Holston and Marnes make the long descent to the lowest levels, where the generator thunders and the air is thick with the work of keeping the entire silo alive. They meet that engineer, Juliet Nichols. She works to keep the generator running. She has no lines in this episode, but her presence lands heavily. Holston listens to her. Back in the present, locked in the holding cell, Marnes asks Holston why he is doing this. Holston answers simply, he is finally listening to Allison. He is going out to find the truth, and, he believes, to find her.